Hello, this is a webinar about our bid to the Careers Enterprise Company for funding to support schools in developing their personal guidance offer to young people. So in this presentation, I'm going to explain what the Careers Enterprise Company want, the model that we're proposing that we bid against, and then I'll explain how you can get involved. My name is Sue Lewis and I head up the Careerpilot team based at the University of Bath. So the Careers Enterprise Company are looking for new ways of delivering personal careers guidance to clusters of schools and colleges. So it's particularly about helping schools to deliver Gatsby Benchmark 8, which is about every student having an opportunity to have a session with a qualified advisor, trained up to level 6, when they're in year 11 and again post 16. The timeline to bid in, we have to have the bid in by November the 30th. Then, if we get it, we'll have a setup time from March to July 2019, and then we'll have a year of delivery in the academic year, September 2019 to 20. So the applications from an organisation that could bring a cluster of schools together, and I'll explain our partners in a minute, and schools and colleges have to expressly agree to be part of the proposal before we put it in. So currently we have already got engaged partners, University of Bath, where Careerpilot is based, but also local career hubs and local authorities as well. We're planning to ask 2 or 3 schools in each of the local authority areas, including one college, to be part of the project. And the idea then is they disseminate within their local MATs, their local hubs, or local authorities. So the Careers Enterprise companies are trying to achieve personal guidance which is additional to what is provided currently. They also want to increase the efficiency, sustainability and the impact of personal guidance. They're interested to see how personal guidance can be blended with technology, which is something that Careerpilot can really contribute to. But they're also interested in how you prepare students for guidance and how you then follow them up. They would like this project to link to helping schools achieve other Gatsby benchmarks, and that the personal guidance demonstrates different theories of offering guidance. A key part of the bid, which is why I highlighted it in yellow, is upskilling people so they can deliver careers interviews. So upskilling people to level 6. So that if they've got a current level 4, we can upskill them to level 6, or we can actually take people through their level 6 training so they become qualified careers advisors. And 10% of the bid as a minimum has to be set aside for training. So it's very much about CPD and developing the amount of resource we've got in the system to deliver high quality guidance. So if you wanted to be involved, you have to formally agree. You have to already have a named careers leader and completed the Compass Toolkit and have engaged with the Enterprise Advisor Network. You've also got to show you're making progress towards publishing your careers program and publishing your policy for how you're going to let other providers like colleges access your students. You will need, because this is a pilot project, you need to agree to be involved in the evaluation, and they're putting together case studies too. There is a focus on disadvantaged schools, and within that we're trying to think about how we hit disadvantaged students too. So the criteria we're using to invite schools or college is hopefully they're already engaged with Careerpilot or they're planning to use it more extensively. They're part of an NCOP, Next Step Southwest, Future Quest, WIN or Study Higher. They might be in a careers hub and they might meet other criteria for disadvantage. But also we're looking at schools who would benefit from support to achieve Gatsby 8, who maybe haven't done the Compass Toolkit, need to have some extra input in order to achieve Gatsby 8. But the bottom line is we want to work with people who are keen to engage with this proposal and prepared to commit to what we're offering. So the Careers Enterprise Company have conducted some research with Derby University to find out what works when offering careers education, personal guidance. And they've come up with these 5 research themes they would like people to bid against: integration, space and time, preparation and feedback, effective interview, and professionalism. I'm just going to explain those quickly. So integration is actually ensuring the personal guidance doesn't just happen on its own, but it's integrated into the rest of the school and the career guidance provision, that it actually links with the other Gatsby benchmarks, and that it's fully supported by senior leadership and involves all staff, not just the personal guidance person with the careers hat on. Space and time, not rocket science, but obviously it's important that the guidance professional has the right place to work. They're not in a broom cupboard. They've got the right amount of time when to meet students, then they're doing it at the right time for the students as well. Preparation and feedback is about getting students ready for guidance, but then making sure that whatever comes out of guidance is followed up on, so students actually continue making progress towards making good decision and good progression. Effective interviews is just making sure the interviews themselves are good quality, that they're based the techniques are based on good quality evidence about what works. Professionalism, the Careers Enterprise Company are keen, and we have professional practice forums that enable people who are involved in careers and delivering personal guidance to develop their professionalism and to work to ethical standards, impartiality being one of the key parts of that. So you can actually bid against one or two or all of these. We feel we can contribute to all of them, but we might have prime ones, prime theories research themes that we're going to work against, and have some subsidiary ones as well. So we're going to make Careerpilot a core of what we're offering because that's obviously where we're coming from, but this is being used a lot now within schools as a model for engaging students before they have their guidance interviews. So I'm not going to go through Careerpilot in detail. I just wanted to explain that it is a one-stop shop that helps young people from year 7 now really to year 13 explore their choices and get an idea of the things they need to think about. Lots of students use it. We get lots of positive feedback, especially about it making a difference in terms of people's attitudes or the information they get, so they know what pathway they're on by the time they've finished using it. Careerpilot can be at the centre of your careers programme because it's a whole suite of tools. We've got the student zone, a reporting zone. So if students complete the career tools part of the student zone, then you can actually see their choices in the reporting zone. The advisor zone, where there's lesson plans and presentations, and the parent zone. Careerpilot is mapped to the career statutory guidance and the Gatsby benchmarks, and this is all linked to that Gatsby benchmark 1, which is creating a stable careers program. Careerpilot can really help with that. The student area has two parts. One is the information, which we all keep up to date. We're all ex-teachers, ex-connections advisors, very committed to keeping the information up to date for students to use, for teachers, for parents. But there's also the career tools. So if the students register or sign in, they could save their choices as they go. And this is what we strongly suggest that you encourage them to do. And the benefit of that is not only do they get their full report, but you can also see their choices in the reporting zone. So that really helps if you're a guidance person and there's information there already you can look at. So the students get a full report, they can share with their parents, they can build on every year. It'll move up with them right from year 7 to year 13. Just to show you the full report, this is what it looks like. You can add comments about the students, you can say action points, you can see the qualifications they feel that they're going to get, and any qualifications they're planning for the future, any job sectors they're choosing, any jobs they're looking at, provide choices, bookmark in any particular sections. So lots of information there. And as I said, that'll move up every year. This is very much about addressing the needs of individual pupils, which is that Gatsby 3, because if you know what they're interested in, then you can focus your support to help them get where they want to go, or at least confirm that that actually fits with what you know about them, their GCSE performance, etc. I just want to mention specifically in the reporting zone, you can see reports by groups of the job sectors people are interested in, etc. But when you look at reports by individual, you can actually add individual comments. So this is where the guidance advisor can actually add a comment about what they've been doing, some action points, which then could be followed up by a tutor who could then write their own comment. And these are all attributed to the person who wrote the comment and given a date. They're visible by the student, the school, the advisor. So it's a good kind of way of putting it all together in one place, and you can see all their choices alongside that. And that very much fits with Gatsby 8, which is personal guidance. So this is the process we want to use as part of our bid. One thing we've also been doing is encouraging schools to think of Careerpilot as a progressive tool, using it from year 7 if you want to, right up to year 13. To help you do that, we've identified particular activities in Careerpilot that link with the age and the stage that the student's at. So if they're year 11, they're choosing post-16 options, then we'll guide them to a particular set of activities, just 5 or 6. They're going to help them explore that particular topic. There'll be different activities for different age groups. So we show that to students through the find activities for your age on the home page. They click there for year 11, they see sort of 5 activities that we suggest year 11 do. And that would create data in the career tools as well, because the first thing they do in all these activities is sign on or register. Now, to back that up, to help busy teachers, busy tutors, we also have support materials in our advisor zone. So, for example, presentations you can use with different key stages. And this is an example of a year 11 presentation in a computer room with a group of year 11 students, and an introduction, which is kind of a fun few questions to get them going. And then they do the 5 activities that we think is useful for year 11 to do, and then a kind of wrap up at the end. And we have these for every year group. So these really help tutors to have the resources they need to deliver a Careerpilot session which is appropriate to the age and stage of the student. So what we want to do is, based on the things we've been doing already, think about the model we want to present to the Careers Enterprise Company. And we have a lot of experience in the WIN NCOP of offering guidance. And this year we're offering 500 NCOP students in the WIN area one-to-one guidance using Careerpilot as the structure that supports the guidance interview. So I'm just going to show you that, because this is what we're going to base our model on for the Careers Enterprise Company bid. So our model with the WIN students currently is they get a pre-guidance session, which is really 1 hour. It could be the whole of year 11 on a carousel or whatever arrangement works for you. 1 hour in an IT room where they get signed on, they register, they do the set activities for year 11. We have got through the WIN, because there's quite a bit of funding for that, an advisor called the HEA, Higher Education Advisor, in each school that's kind of helping with that pre-guidance. What comes out of that pre-guidance then is quite a lot of information already about what their student is interested in. So when they have the guidance from a level 6 qualified advisor, there's quite a lot of information that starts that conversation. So they don't have to start right from the beginning. There's lots of information there about their skills, about their job sectors, about the qualifications they might be interested to do next. So after the guidance interview, the guidance advisor will record their report and some action points for the students to take forward in the Careerpilot reporting zone. And then they'll be followed up. In the WIN model, we've got the HEA, the Higher Education Advisor, to follow up. So they'll meet one-to-one with the students and see where they are with their action points and keep them on track until they maybe have another guidance interview, maybe in a year's time or halfway through the year. So that model is supported by staff training to make sure staff feel confident about delivering workshop sessions, sessions for parents, and also using the age-specific activities. We are also now training the WIN advisors up to level 6 guidance, the diploma in careers guidance. So that's our model currently. It's worked very well in the schools that we've been able to use this with. But as you will know, the NCOP targets very specific students, so it's not rolled out right across the board. And what we would like to do through our proposed model for the bid is think of a way to take that model into a school and use it with everybody. So this is our suggestion, that we continue to have that preparation for guidance session, which is really like a 1 hour hands-on experience using Careerpilot, doing the specific activities, but that could be delivered by the head of year or tutor teams. And in the first year, it will be supported by the central Careerpilot team, who might co-deliver, but with the intention being in the year after delivery that the school can do that for themselves. This is a new thing. What we want to do then is develop an electronic triage tool which will actually look at the information that will, after the students have had their 1 hour on Careerpilot, ask them some questions to find out where they feel they are in terms of making good progress into the next phase. The triage tool, checked by the school and tutors and the knowledge they might have, will then lead into hopefully helping us to tag who should get what sort of guidance. This will all be a pilot because we're just trying this out for the first time. But it might be if a student hasn't got a clue what they want to do, they will actually be tagged as red, and that will indicate that they need maybe the 40-minute guidance session, or maybe they have made some progress but need some additional support. So maybe they'll be tagged as amber, or maybe they're well on the way to sort themselves out and they know what they want to do. They've got everything lined up and they only need maybe a 10-minute check or to be part of a group around a particular topic, like how do I choose my A levels, and they don't need that intensive 40-minute session. So we're hoping the triage tool might lead to some having more guidance than others, but all of them actually heading towards being green by the end of year 11 or the end of year 12 stroke 13. So the guidance interview will be recorded in Careerpilot, so visible to the students. And at the end of the guidance interview, another opportunity to look back on the triage questions to see whether things have now changed, and for them to come out of that guidance interview tagged either red, amber, or green, depending on where they are at the end of that process. And then for there to be follow-up. So for the tutor or maybe a learning coach or PSHE coordinator, whoever in your school could do this, maybe catch up with the students and particularly focus on the ones who are red and amber and seeing how they do with their action points and kind of helping to move them along. Underpinning the whole model will be the opportunity for students to self-refer or for the tutor to refer. We'll also be looking at having an e-guidance tool linked into the triage. So if they're at a particular point and it's red, they can actually request e-guidance as well as setting up a one-to-one session. Again, underpinned by other things, we think we really need to raise awareness of what is guidance. Guidance is a challenge as well as a support. And it's very important that people understand the difference between information, advice, and guidance. So we think that might be part of what we want to do too. We will do sessions for parents and we'll work on these age-specific activities. Now we need level 6 people to run the guidance interviews, and what we're proposing is that we train somebody within the school environment up to level 6 careers guidance level. So that will be a funded support for the training, but they're all staff at other stages of this model will need training too. So that's our model. And essentially, it will be empty spaces, and you will be able to choose what you put into those spaces because every school will be slightly different. So we want the elements of the model to be there, but the way you deliver it within your school will be up to your school structure. And we're suggesting that we do this with 2 tutor groups or similar. So about 60 students in that delivery year, a chance to pilot this approach. If you want to integrate it further than that, that's fine. But in terms of the evaluation, I think we've tried to focus on 2 tutor groups or a house group or whatever might suit your structure and just see how it goes and be prepared to sort of feedback what works, what needs tweaking. I mentioned the triage tool, which is a new thing. And if we get the funding in the preparation stage from March to July is when we will develop this. And we've used expertise from a range of people with careers expertise to help us put that together. So these are just examples. So we think in the triage tool will be quite visual, and the students will be able to see where they are on it, as well as the tutors and other people engaged with the student around guidance. So at the end of their 1 hour Careerpilot session, they might have a few minutes at the end where they could be asked a few questions like, for year 11, which of these post-16 options do you plan to do? So they said A levels, apprenticeships, vocational qualifications, and they clicked on that. Then that would be green because they've already got a bit of a plan. And they can have more than one, that's fine. So we'll put the date that they made that decision. But if they've got no idea or they can't choose between their options, then that would actually flag them up as red. And they could see that too, because they could actually, we could have maybe little things about how they could help themselves, but certainly how they could refer themselves for either e-guidance or guidance. Another sort of question might be, what stage are you at in the process? I know the entry requirements and I'm going to get the grades, which is clearly green. or I have a place sorted out at a college or a sixth form. I've applied to a nice sort of middle ground, so maybe amber, and I don't think I'll get the grades I need. I don't even know what grades I need. So those are both red, and hopefully the student is beginning to understand that there's certain things that they need to do in order to prepare for the next stage, and we'll give them sort of ways of doing that too. So they get support, but they can take a little bit of control themselves too, if they're able to. Now, what we think we will do is that any students with additional learning needs, whether NEET, Pupil Premium, grade, they're going to get grade 5 or lower, will be red flagged to start, so they'd automatically get the 40-minute guidance interview. But from then on, they'll use this system too. So these are all very experimental things. This whole thing is underpinned by the opportunity to self-refer, tutor refer, have e-guidance. So at any point, a student can say, I really can't choose between A levels and apprenticeships. I need some advice. They might shoot off an email, or they might arrange a short uh, guidance session from the guidance person and be around for drop-in sessions. So what are the benefits for the participating schools? Well, you'll get the funding, so you can try out this proposed model with 2 tutor groups in that delivery year. Hopefully then you'll have better prepared and informed students. You'll have a triage tool which will help you focus guidance on the available resources, but we'll have an idea about what works well with which students. You'll have a recording and reporting system. You'll have more capacity for guidance because this can be offered additionally to what you provide, because it's offering a kind of additional model. And that will help you. All this is going to help you meet Gatsby 8 and other benchmarks. We can provide training for your tutor team, PSHE team who might be involved in the stages of this model. And we can help you co-deliver some of the workshop sessions in that delivery year, which will be part of CPD. We can allocate some cover costs to help whoever you decide should be doing the follow-up with students, to give them that additional time to do that. We can also offer free training for a member of staff up to level 6 careers guidance, or upskilling from level 4 to level 6. They will start their training in the March, and so by the year of delivery, which will be September, they'll be halfway through their training. So the first bit from September to Christmas, for example, they will get a chance to observe an existing qualified level 6 advisor who will be allocated to your school. In the period after that, they'll get observed by that qualified advisor, and then the final term, I guess, they will get mentored by that advisor. So by the end of that delivery year, the end of 2020, they should really be very well qualified to take on that role of being the level 6 advisor within your school or your cluster. We'll provide cover costs so the level 6 trainee can deliver guidance, and also have some time to come to some sessions, although much of the training is online and they will have to commit to some of that time themselves. We're also going to put on some master classes which will be available to people in the careers community. A masterclass maybe on how you offer guidance to people on the autistic spectrum, or other groups or techniques, how you use group work, for example. So we would like to develop a professional practice forum as well that supports this. So as a school, you'll benefit from the feedback we're going to get about this model, the evaluation process. You'll be contributing to the development of the triage tool and the development of this process too. So the timeline, we need to know by November the 5th whether you're on board, and we need particular information from you by that date. And that I'm writing the bid with Carol Morris, who used to work at UE. She's a qualified careers advisor. So by November the 12th, we plan to write the first draft for comment, and then the bid is submitted on the 30th of November. So if we do get it, our plan from March 2019, which is the project setup time, is to agree the model with each school, how you want to fill those boxes, what's going to work for you. Start the level 6 training course, work on the triage tool so it's ready for September. Begin training staff in schools, connecting with other people who are helping the schools, like the enterprise advisor, assigning people to your school, like a guidance person and a project lead, so that we're all ready for September 2019 to deliver in that year particularly delivering the module to year 11 and 12. Although we might want to think about how you prepare year 10, not necessarily for guidance, but for this whole area of careers. They could be doing a career path session in year 9 or year 10 in preparation for understanding more about their choices. Then we'll be monitoring it and evaluating it. The level 6 trainee will be observed, they'll observe other people, and they'll be mentored. So at the end of this process, they'll be trained and ready to go. So if you want to be part of it, you have to do certain things. You have to agree to be involved in the project and the evaluation, have a named careers leader, compass, enterprise advisor network. You need to be engaged with that. You have to show progress towards publishing your careers program and your policy for allowing external providers to talk to your students. You will also need to tell us what you're spending already on personal guidance, and also the training needs analysis for the staff who are currently working offering personal guidance. We want to know what qualifications they got, what skills they need, and maybe they could do with some support with in order to get up to a level 6 guidance level. So lots of levels there. We also will need to have the active support of senior leadership team, the careers leader, and other career staff. Whoever's doing the guidance will need access to key data, which is to do with qualifications. If we're going to do with 2 tutor groups, it'd be great to work with the staff who are going to be very positive about engaging in this project. We want to engage the enterprise advisor and support this project too. There will need to be time allocated, IT time, so that at least all year 11 and all year 12 could do a career pilot pre-guidance IT session. And we could offer that right across the year group, not just with the 2 groups who are piloting, if that is considered to be useful. And they will need time for the guidance sessions. So there needs to be a commitment generally within the school to raise the status of careers and guidance and impartiality. These are kind of key things really, which link with the Careers Development Institute Code of Practice and Code of Ethics that we want our advisors to work into. You will need to actively encourage students to attend personal guidance interviews, and that needs to be in appropriate rooms, not room cupboard. If in these, I know these are issues, but a room that says this is important will actually help students view guidance as something crucial. So you will get funding to train one person up to level 6 or to upskill somebody from level 4 to level 6. You'll get cover so that that trainee can deliver the guidance that we've set out in the model, be observed and observe other people. There'll be some project support from the Central Careerpilot team to just help oil the wheels, make sure this is moving along. There will be a current level 6 experience advisor assigned to the trainee so they can actually support them. There will be training for all staff involved in delivering the model. It doesn't have to be separate and don't have to all come off timetable. It could be integrated into staff meeting times. And we will support that model from the Central Career Pilot team as well by being there when you're delivering to whole year groups. There will be some cover costs for staff involved in the follow-up stage. There will be master classes, and we'll try to look at how we can set up a professional practice forum. There will be cover costs so you can disseminate how this project has gone across your MATs, if you're in one, across your local authorities, across your hubs, career hubs, or regionally. So we'll look at how we could do that later on in the delivery year. And there will be CPD opportunities related to Gatsby, guidance, careers enhancement through local courses and national courses, which link to that professional practice forum. Key to all this is actually getting people trained up to level 6 careers guidance, and it needs to be the right sort of person for the job. So I've just put down here the skill set needed, which comes from the Careers Development Institute. People will develop some of these things through the course, but they do need to start off by having good listening skills, excellent communication skills, and be passionate about helping people move on and be interested in people and human behavior and how you can actually help them to understand their choices and move them to a good place so they can progress effectively. We have to think about sustainability, so we'll pilot this project with equivalent about 2 tutor groups But at the end of that year, hopefully you'll be in a position where you want to roll it out across the school. By that time, you'll have efficient, supportive, and professional personal guidance model, which you can then roll out. You'll have well-trained staff with clear roles, so they can train other people. You'll have an electronic process that supports personal guidance and will help you monitor needs and interventions. And then you're in a position to share that across a mat or a cluster. And of course, you'll have lots of information through the whole process that's going to be useful for showing to justifying your how you meet Gatsby, but also in terms of showing Ofsted, how you meet in the individual needs of students, how you're addressing careers and guidance across your school environment. So what next? So you'll be emailed a form that you need to complete and return to me by November the 5th. That asks all the information the Careers Enterprise Company have requested and a few other things from us. If you want to know more and you want to have a chat about this, then you can book a call with me, or we could do a webinar just for you, and we could arrange a meeting. Although with the half term, things get a bit tight. But there's my number. That's my email address. So I do hope that what you heard is interesting and exciting to you, and you'd